I mean, the Snyder Cut refers to we cut nothing. We put everything we had
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
into this movie.
We just kept pouring.
If you are a fan of Cyborg, you will really enjoy this movie because like Cyborg actually is a character in this movie as compared to moody teenager, or like they give his backstory. There's a
okay, well,
Joe Morton is in that movie for more than 5 minutes.
Hey, Joe Morton.
So
Miles Dyson, Mr. Skynet.
Yes, that's how I was introduced to him.
So.
Blowing up a whole.
Okay, was he Miles Dyson before he was going to marry Whitley in a different world, or was it after?
Oh, that had to be after.
Yeah,
but I would imagine that would be after.
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot about that.
I'm dating myself, but here we are.
Wow.
Well, we all got the reference.
All right. Well, it is March 18th. This is GameEnthus Podcast, episode 432. I'm one of the hosts here. My name is Aaron. Tiny is here.
Hey, I am also here. Back from a week off.
A whole week? What did you spend your week doing?
I mean, we'll talk about that, I assume, when we get to anecdotes. So
yeah, you're absolutely right.
Probably want to introduce the guest first. Just get throw that out there.
You did that much this week. Now you're just showing off. Enough about us. We have Marcus Ross joining us, game designer extraordinaire. Welcome, Marcus. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So,
am I supposed to say something?
No, I was gonna say. So, for those who do not know some of your history, do you want to just give us a quick pitch on kind of who you are as a creator and a designer?
Well, sure. No
pressure.
Oh yeah, sure. That's helping. I am primarily a tabletop game designer. My catalog of published games is here. My first game was a game called Discount Salmon. This won a contest called the Tabletop Deathmatch that Cards Against Humanity put on. They gave us our first print run for free.
Oh, very cool.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. It's a speed matching game about fish. And the fish all have problems, so you're trying to fix them. So if the fish is stinky, you spray it with perfume. Very silly things like that. My second game was a game called Bees, with 5 E's. Bees.
Now, was that like a copywriting kind of thing, or like you just... how did you end up with 5?
Well, I wanted it to be distinctive, and I felt like 4 wasn't absurd enough. So we just kept adding E's, so like, that's about the right number.
Okay, sounds good.
This is a real-time dice game. You're rolling dice, putting them on hexagon-shaped tiles, and then flipping those tiles over and making a beehive. And whoever builds their beehive the best wins that game. And it's quite a lot of fun. This is Let Her Go. This is our party word game. So you're making words using letter cards, kind of Scrabble style. But your words don't count unless you follow the Let Her Go rules. And all of those are silly things that have nothing to do with making words. So you may have to write your word on somebody else's board. I think my favorite one is every letter in your word needs a place to live, so you have to draw a house around each one. It's very silly stuff. And then when you do that, you grab a scoring token, and whoever has the lowest numbered scoring token gets to take the letters off the board. Mm-hmm. That's how you score points. So if you use the same letter as someone else, you may not get points for them. It's a pretty cool game.
Okay.
I like word games quite a bit. I mean, I like dice rolling, but yeah, word game. Well, see, I like them all, but word game is something that I can definitely pull my family in because word games will definitely get them to the table. So, can these games be purchased on your site?
Let's see. Discount Salmon we have on our website, discountsalmon.com. Everything else, the easiest place to get them at this point is Spielbound's website.
Spielbound. Okay.
Spielbound, yeah, SPIELBOUND.com. I can put that someplace.
Yeah, I'll make sure I put it in show notes for people who are listening.
They have all my stuff.
Okay, cool.
But I'm also perpetually working on prototypes. Who knows if anything will get out anytime soon. It takes about a year from the time something gets signed to the soonest it could really be out. So I don't have anything in the publishing pipeline at the moment, but hopefully soon I have things I'm working on.
Cool. All right, so a history. Like, how did you get into designing games?
I mean, okay. If we're going to be very real about it, I was a huge fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I still am. But
hey, who's not, right?
that's true. When I was very young, I designed Ninja Turtle games because all the ones in the market were terrible. Me and my brothers did that all the time. I was probably the primary force behind making those. But I didn't actually start doing game design as something that could, be products and be sold to people till 2013, 2014, somewhere in there. And it just kind of occurred to me, oh, you can do that. People do that. Once I actually got my hands on Catan in like 2013, like, oh, wow. Look at these games.
Very cool.
Oh, Catan got you too, huh?
Catan got me in. Then we played Puerto Rico. And then at that point, anything that they shipped over from Germany that I could get my hands on, I was playing it. And now I have an absurd number of games in my basement to the point where I'm thinking I need to either cull this because it's overflowing.
Yeah, I'm getting there too.
One wall.
Hey, Aaron.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, see, Marcus, he makes me feel good. He has the same problem. We're good.
Oh, it's hundreds of games now. Yeah, it's almost a pit of despair till I add a new one.
I thought the new term was shelf of opportunity. I thought that's what we were. That's what I've been hearing. I've been hearing shelf of opportunity.
Well, then let me tell you, there are many opportunities to be had in my basement, for which I should put you on a tour. Just like, it'll take a minute.
Yeah, it happens so fast too. Like I keep track, and I was like, I'm over 300 now. What am I doing? I know for some people that's like nothing, but I was like,
I might have 300 card games.
But to Aaron's side or whatever, he only started doing this like 2 years ago.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
If you even hint that you have games, people will start bringing you some. You're gonna get them as gifts. You'll just leave your desk and you come back and there'll be 3 more there.
I just went to the bathroom, y'all. What's wrong with you? It happens quickly.
I got a friend getting rid of his games right now. He's like, I need to get rid of these. It's like, I'm available. I don't have space, but I'll figure it out.
That exactly, because I mean, there's gonna be something that you want to keep, and then everything else you kind of, you can give it to somebody else, pay it forward or backward.
Here's the test. How much furniture have you bought specifically for board games?
Not a lot, but like a couple of shelves. Okay, yeah. So yeah,
this Calax is for my working office. There are 2 more downstairs. I have a box throne, and then I just got some of those metal racks that they use for food service. And I got tons of those.
Okay, I guess but do you keep track of what you have though? Like, do you have like a spreadsheet or something so you know exactly what you do have, or are you to the point where it's like?
Most of it is cataloged in Board Game Geek, but I really should take a proper inventory at some point because I need to know how much flammable material I have on hand.
That's probably a good idea. I'd like to get a picture of this this box throne. I agree with James in the chat here. I'd like to see a picture of this box throne. It reminds me of Tiny. What was that? A Super Potato?
Oh yeah,
the throne made of Famicom cartridges.
Yeah.
I don't know if they took that down, didn't they? I don't think it's still there anymore.
From what we heard, one day I will see it in person.
One day I will as well.
I will get to Japan and see it in person. So.
A man can dream. Yeah. So other than designing and everything else, what have you been up to in the last couple of weeks?
Oh, gee, I've been keeping up on WandaVision because everybody does.
Yeah.
I enjoy that immensely.
So
I'm on another podcast where we talk about it. So,
what podcast are you on?
Oh, the House of Afros, Capes, and Curls has a podcast, The League of Excellent Extraordinary Negroes, which I did not name.
I like the name.
The name lets you know what you're getting into.
Yeah. No certain terms.
We did WandaVision. We did Lovecraft Country. We've been doing some reviews. We did Coming to America. We've been doing some other ones.
I've not started Lovecraft Country yet. I do have HBO Max legitimately. I mean, I had it before, but I have it legitimately, so I feel like I really have it now. I need to start that. What did you think of Coming to America?
Coming to America, as like, for a movie no one asked them to make, was at least good.
Yeah, it was fun.
I was surprised. It was a fun movie, and like clearly the cast was having a great time spending Jeff's money, and I'm behind that. So anytime you can take Amazon's money and spend more on wardrobe than I make in 10 years.
Yeah, the wardrobe was fantastic, and somebody did an excellent job with the wardrobe. Let me tell you. Yeah, I thought it was fun. Like I didn't go in thinking it's going to be anywhere near as funny as original because like you said, nobody. Yeah, it can't be.
It can't be, but it was better than I thought it was going to be. It was a lot of fun.
It was fun,
but they gave me characters that I wanted to see more of than what they did with, and then the characters they chose to highlight, I'm like,
yeah.
I will say though, I loved Wesley Snipes. Every time he was on screen,
he was having so much fun.
He was having the best time.
And I ain't gonna lie, if I can't think of her name. Why am I drawing a blank now? She played the prince's mom, Leslie Jones. If Leslie Jones was not in that movie, I think half the laughs would have been gone. Like she was
having a great time too.
She was good. Tracy Morgan was funny.
I like Leslie Jones.
And some of the people that they brought back, I was like towards the end, like I don't want to spoil anything, but at the very end, I was like, wow, they really dug in the crates.
They didn't lose anybody's phone number. Everybody.
Oh, they made themselves available. You know, I'm still alive, right? I can. Okay. I'm accepting checks.
I'm alive. I look good. 30 years has treated us very well. Let's get in this movie. It's a celebration. It
really was. It was an homage, and like you could tell they were having fun with it, and telling a story that seemed it was topical. I mean, they definitely touched on some gentrification stuff when they first went back. They had spent a lot of time on that, but then just talking about tradition and everything else, and questioning why do we still do this.
But like the plot was like carbon copy.
Pretty much, yeah.
Y'all had the daughters right there. You could have done so many different things with.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah,
but like I wanted more of them.
That would have been good. That's true. That's true. All right. What is this this microclimate thing I see here on the outline?
Oh Lord. Okay, so I've been at home pretty much the entire year. I mean, like I barely go to my mailbox, and I've been playing board games because that's like, if you want to have a recipe for getting COVID, let's go indoors. Let's spend 3 hours breathing into each other's faces and touching the same components. It's not a good idea.
No.
So microclimate. Oh geez, it's in the car. It's this. It's a helmet that is made specifically for air travel. Some company in Utah puts it out. It looks like a space helmet. So it's got a great big clear plastic thing, and then like fabric around it, and it's got HEPA filters. So it's as good or better than an N95, and it's specifically made so you can get on an airplane and be there for 7 hours. So I bought that specifically so I can play board games.
Hey.
I should grab it so you can see it.
I would really like to see what this is. I'm very curious, if you don't mind.
Okay, it's gonna take me about a minute. So,
well, I mean, I can also just throw some pictures. I have their website up.
Oh, you have their website up? Okay.
I have their. I can. I'll start putting some pictures as backgrounds once I'm just pulling them right now. It's a real, yeah.
It's a real deal.
Pictures are pretty good.
This is a thing.
The thing that people do.
So change my background.
I just call it the space helmet because it's
that is
absurd.
Legitimate.
So have you put it to use? I mean, has it?
I have. I put it to use a couple times, and then also my brother had COVID just like they're part of him like maybe 3 weeks ago. It's not that long ago. So he's doing just fine. He's doing great.
That's good. That's good to hear. Yeah.
He didn't have any significant symptoms or anything.
That's good.
He's even back to work, so he's doing okay. But I'm like, if I'm going to go out in public and I have to get all of our food and do anything else, I'm like, I'm going to try and protect people because I don't know that I don't have it.
Yeah.
So
that's
I've tested negative so far. So that's good.
It's the same mentality people should have after they even get vaccinated. It's like you can still be a carrier.
You still can.
I mean, vaccination is great for you.
Vaccination saves you from dying, but it does not mean you can't get it and give it to other people.
But people are not, people don't listen. So let's go. It's like, no, let's.
It's like, no. That's not how this works.
DoorDash. Okay, what do you? Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna send them DoorDash people through college. They're gonna be.
Wow.
Oh, you.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's a full on.
It's the real deal.
Yeah.
I'm just snipping pictures off of their website now. So
there are competing products. None of the other ones are. I mean, like this one makes you look like a dork, but at least it's not like down to here and all the way down to.
It's not a diving helmet. Yes.
Yes, I've seen worse.
Okay, an important detail I see on the website is it does have a 6-foot USB Type-C cable. I like that.
It does. It's kind of hard to plug into, but it's there.
I approve.
When you have it on, it sounds like someone in another room is vacuuming. If you get past that, it's fine. I put my AirPods in, and then you can turn on the phone to act like a hearing aid. So you can. It works great.
I'm surprised these things are just completely sold out. That people haven't just snatched them all up yet.
They're like $300.
They're not free.
They're not free. There's still a lead time on them too. So like you put in an order, and they're not going to just ship it immediately. I think they're getting the wait time down, though. I haven't checked.
So are you basically implying that you are a trendsetter, Marcus? Is that is that what we're hearing from you? Like I said,
when I ordered mine, it was like 10 weeks out. I'm like, oh Lord, I'm never going to see this thing. It's like, how are you not just hiring everybody within earshot to start making these things? But yeah, it's truly a
that's what's up.
COVID created product.
I mean,
hey, necessity is a mother of invention. So
behind me,
you got to chuck those dice or do whatever.
Yeah, put it to use.
That's all right. That's all right. So I mean, I guess obviously playing in person is preferred, but have you found yourself doing anything on Tabletop Simulator or Board Game Arena? It's not the same, but it's something.
It's not at all the same.
It's not. But I've gotten used to it. It's not. It's something.
Like a lot of my fellow designers are doing their prototypes and getting feedback on Tabletop Simulator. I'm like, I can't.
I understand.
The fidelity is not there. It's not the same at all. It does not work for my process. Like I can't really see people interact with the game in the way that I need to know that if the game is actually going to work when you have a physical copy.
Yeah.
And like, it's too easy to let Tabletop Simulator lull you into a false sense of what's working. Like, oh, I need these bits. How many of them do I need in the game? I don't know. Tabletop Simulator let me have an infinite number of bits. So I'm just going to go ahead.
I have not thought about that before. I have not thought about that. I guess I play so many things where I think people have maybe they have a couple of prototypes or something that they've done, maybe a COVID bubble. But I haven't thought about that. Like if you're really trying to size components, you're having a bottomless well of trinkets. It's like everybody will have that when they buy it. No, they won't.
Sure.
No, they won't.
How many unique cards are there in this game? It's fine. It doesn't matter. 7 different card decks. That's probably not going to fly.
Yeah.
But it's working for people. I'm not going to knock it. It just does not work for me.
Hey, I understand. I've been doing it for so long now. I'm just like I'm used to it. Or BGA or Tabletopia.
Up until COVID hit, I have a group that meets in person like weekly to play prototypes, and they're just starting to get back into it today. This last month or two. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm still not super comfortable with the idea,
right?
Because at Spielbound, our board game cafe, it's people in and out all the time, but it's still indoors. Who knows what the circulation system's going to be like?
Yeah,
The air moves, but is it moving enough? I don't know.
And is it the type of air that you want moving? That's the real question.
Who knows? I have a space helmet. I can make it work eventually, but it's also I have to figure out what days they're going. It's been too long.
I understand. As James in the chat brought up a point. He said you can reiterate quickly on something like TTS, which is, I guess, it's a double-edged sword. It's you can upload new assets. I'm not saying assets just fall down from the sky, but yeah, it's but you do. I obviously, when you were prototyping things, we were not in COVID. You could look at people and say, "What do you think? What did you like?" Or just watch them as they're doing it. It is different.
You have to have a separate. Then you have to have Discord up, and then your computer is just going to crawl because you've got Discord and Tabletop Simulator and Steam running. If you're doing anything else, it's just not. It's not happening.
I render video when I'm doing that, so it's all just smoke coming out of it. So what have you done to me? Nice. I'm kidding. So, what else? Anything else you want to talk about during this anecdotal part of the show? Just that you want people to know about you, or about your company?
The company is. One day, I hope it makes money. No.
I've heard a lot of that actually from people.
It is. I do enjoy game design, but it is a challenge. And if you really want to make money, you have to be a publishing company, and I'm never going to be that. I'm going to do either that, or you can be Reiner Knizia and just license a ton of designs,
or just have like 600 game ideas. I don't have any, but
I have 600 games.
Yeah, he does of his own. It's my 600 exactly, and the other 8,000 over here.
I have all the components to make any game I want.
He kind of does. All I need now
is ideas and execution.
He kind of does. I look. I'm just like, how does that much come out of one person?
How is he doing it? I don't know how he's doing it, but wow. I'm astonished. I'm in awe. I am.
Yeah.
Watching with great interest.
Yeah. I have a little roll and write thing I was kicking around, and I stopped working. I don't know if Matt's still in the chat, but he was doing some play testing of it for me like a year ago or something like that, and I haven't done anything with it. Now I have another idea for it, so it's like, rather than finish that up, I'm just gonna maybe start working on something else that's sort of from the ashes
of
that
shiny idea is so much shinier.
Yeah. And I'm not a designer. I'm just somebody.
Finishing a game is super hard.
Oh, as somebody who's never done that ever at all, yes, I imagine it would be.
Playable prototype, you can get there. Improving that prototype, you can try. Shippable game, ooh.
Yeah.
That's the final leap. But
he's in the chat. No, he said, okay, yeah, he's still there. He said, I want to play that game in a finished state. I'm sorry, Matt, it just changed.
Well, come on. Well, are you gonna pursue it? You're gonna find a way to get it done?
I don't know. I'm surprised I haven't mentioned it because I'm not a designer. I just like playing games. I just had an idea.
Do you have it in Tabletop Simulator then?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's the thing. If I put it in there, would you play?
Yes. I'm not gonna lie to you, probably not.
Okay. I thought maybe
if that's the only way you make it available. Okay. If that's the only way you make it available, I will. You set aside some time, we'll do it.
I appreciate the honesty. You were like,
but left to my own devices, probably not. I got a whiteboard full of stuff that I've said yes to that is mistakes. That is. I'm like, ooh, boy, I want to check that checkbox. It is. Oh man, that's not happening.
It all can't. That's for sure. It all cannot. Oh boy. Let's see. I'm just gonna run through just a couple of things that I did. Anybody see Judas and the Black Messiah?
Not yet. It's on my list of things that are going to hurt me, so I need to prepare myself.
Yeah, we caught it it is. The last day was on HBO Max. I think it was leaving it
gone.
Well, they do those. It's like 30 days.
Wonder Woman. Yeah, it's 30 days, and then it's going to go to on demand and all that stuff, and it'll be back in 4 months or whatever.
Man,
for money, And I was like, well, we got HBO Max. We got to watch it now. So We enjoyed it. We thought it was good. Yeah, it's one of those movies where like you're never really in the mood, but not that it, but you feel like I gotta at least see what's going on. And I know that there was some controversy over some things some liberties that were taken with how the story was told. I really want to see more of like maybe things that they had to change. Why they did, I don't know. What they did, I'm not really entirely sure. But it could not have. But I know whatever they changed could not have been as egregious as that. Was it like the 1995 Black Panther movie they made?
Well, it's definitely an improvement.
That was terrible.
It's an improvement to have a controversy and then to not have a movie, and we've had that for the longest time.
True. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I did. My wife was telling me something about the Keith Stanfield having just a hard time with the role, and just after he filmed it, he was just struggling with some stuff just mentally about just the character he played, and just he was Judas essentially. I mean, he played William O'Neill, so yeah.
I could see needing to go to therapy.
Yeah, he did
having doing something like that.
It's heavy, and the fact that William O'Neill, when they were filming Eyes on the Prize Part 2, he was interviewed for it. He committed suicide like right after it, after he had done that interview. And I was thinking like he lived with that for a good number of years and did more. Like it just says a lot. Like, yeah, but people do what they do. And then we finally watched Mulan on Disney Plus, and we all knew. Obviously, Mulan is a story that goes back, many years. So, but of course, the thing that we're thinking about is the animated version that we all know all the songs for, and all the, and all this stuff. But we knew going in it was not going to be that. But it still felt like Disney spent a lot of money on this movie. It looked really nice. The costuming was great. But it just felt like something was missing. Did anybody else see? Like, was it just me? It just felt like
I still haven't seen it. So
it just there was some weird decision. I'm sorry, Marcus, you were saying something?
No. I'm just like, I think the end of the movie just feels like it was filmed with an abundance of green screen, and you lose like the grounding that the rest of the movie had.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing that kind of pulled me out of it the most. I mean, even the fact that it was a departure from how the animated one ends, it's not the big deal. It's like, I don't know what's like the characters that are the big deal at the end don't feel like it was earned. It's like, I don't care about that guy. I care about these people. What's happening to them? There's a side story.
Yeah, it felt like there was a side story that we just didn't get. That would have been maybe key to the end of it. And I don't want to spoil anything, but and I see James in the chat said he couldn't bring himself to watch it. It's still worth watching, but like Marcus, like I said, I've tried to dance around it, but like there was a scene, there was a certain character who seemed like, well, that was a waste. It was like, why? You could have done so much more, but yet we did not. So, yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not going to win any major awards.
And it was one of those, I think, Raya and the Last... Is it Raya and the Last Dragon? Raya and the...
Yeah,
I
have not seen that yet because they want money.
Yeah, that's like $30 premium. No.
I'm like... Because when they announced Mulan, I was like, $30? I can wait till December. And we waited till March. So I'm good. Well, I got to wait on Raya. I don't, so...
It's going to be a minute. Who knows?
Yeah.
I feel it's weird if Disney would announce it already. Be like, hey, just wait.
Yeah, they made that. You know what? They learned, because I think a lot of people were like, let me just go ahead and wait on Mulan.
Like, again, like the $30 makes, if you have a family of 5 and you're watching that, $30 is still cheaper than going to the theater. Not that anyone's going to a theater.
Yeah, see, I tried to make that point, and I was like outvoted by all of them. So it was like, never mind.
Because if you're outvoted by all of them, that kind of sounds like you can make that point. This is cheaper than going to a theater. And their point is, we didn't want to go to the theater to see it. So like, yeah,
one person in particular was like $30, and I went, all right, okay.
Was that the entire argument? $30.
That's all they said. It's $30.
It's a compelling argument.
It really,
I'm not gonna lie.
it was. You see, I had no comeback. I was like, all right.
$30 is a significant chunk.
You win.
You will notice if you drop $30, you'd be having a bad day. You're like, oh, doggone it.
So it happens. It happens. So that's kind of all I really kind of did that this week. I think. I don't know. Time is weird. I don't know. Tiny, what have you been up to?
So we were talking about this before the show, but I watched the Snyder Cut today. And I'm going to not talk a lot about specifics, but here's one thing I'll throw that out for you. Did you know the whole thing is filmed in a 4:3 aspect ratio?
No.
I heard that only today.
Yes. Like, literally, they throw a screen up at the beginning that says, like, Zack Snyder, in his, like, I don't know, director vision, wanted this to be in 4:3. And I wonder if Zack Snyder watches everything on, like, cathode ray tubes. Because I don't know why you'd record a movie in 4:3 in 2011 or in 2021
and in black and white. So he really, there's a black and white version, right?
So
what?
I mean,
yeah.
Are you talking about the black and white Superman?
No, like there's different versions of the Snyder Cut. One of them is in black and white.
I have not seen that.
I'm not going to.
I heard that.
Okay.
So I mean, I very much enjoyed it. It's very different from the first movie, and so like I said, I will keep this to things that I do not think are important.
Okay.
So, for example, we talked about it before the show again. There's a Russian family through that movie. Like, you see them, they're stuck in the house when the parademons are attacking them, and then they try to get away in their truck, and the truck breaks down, and Flash, like, speeds the truck away, and Aaron didn't remember this family at all. They do not show up a single time in this movie.
You know why? They were never there to begin with.
Well, no one's there. So there's also not like that, like at the end where like Flash is saving them in the truck and Superman's carrying like an apartment building on his back.
Oh, I remember that. That I remember.
Yeah, none of that happens because this town is abandoned because the nuclear plant blew up next to it. So like none of that is there. And it is, I think, a better movie. Does nuclear
waste factor into your home buying decisions? Because I hadn't really considered it.
I mean, if there's like, they make the argument. So like in the original movie, they never explain why Steppenwolf sets up inside that like cooling tower or anything. But it turns out
it was a cooling tower, wasn't it?
In this, yeah, in this thing, he's using the radiation that it's the fallout essentially that's there to manufacture that whole like dome thing he had. Like they justify why he picked this random place in Russia. And like none of that is in the first version of Justice League. And there are people living here.
Did they even call him Steppenwolf in the first version? It's his name.
They do say his name because Lex Luthor says it at the end of Batman v Superman in the post-credit scene, when they show him talking to him over the like Kryptonian like nail board thing where like it's like, oh look, it comes in and out because it's like matter floating in air.
Okay, I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember that either.
Didn't
that. Anyway, it's so Steppenwolf is there. I mean, if you watch a trailer for it, Darkseid shows up. Like he's in this movie.
I've heard he's in this movie. Yes.
Like
this movie actually 4 hours long?
It is 4 hours long. It is broken into 7 chapters and an epilogue. So, like, you could just break it up and watch that.
Okay.
I think, like, first 2 hours, you only get through the first 2 sections. But, like...
I don't think Marcus is convinced.
If you are a fan of Cyborg, you will enjoy this movie.
And you are a fan of Cyborg.
In this movie. I am a fan of Cyborg.
That is a long time.
Well, it is. But I'll make this argument. It's only slightly longer than one of the Lord of the Rings movies.
I'm not rewatching those either, though.
I gave those away.
So like, yeah, like it's, and again, you could just watch the episode. Like I said, it's broken up into chapters or whatever. Just watch it like WandaVision. You want to watch it one time, one chapter a week. They'll be vastly different lengths. I'm
going to watch it. It's just
a
commitment.
Understood. And like I originally was gonna break it up or whatnot, and then I I worked from like 7 to, I don't know, roughly like 3. And at that point, I'm like, I need to get lunch. Like, I need something to eat. And I started watching, and I'm like, yeah, pretty good. I can answer whatever I need to answer for the rest of the day while this is on.
Marcus in the chat, Programmer Man 1 says, Marcus, will be watching this train wreck next time we get together. So.
I cannot, like,
That's going to be as 4 hours.
You could play a game or watch this movie. Pick one.
There are still, like, things that you would like, so actually what's weirder is now that Wonder Woman in 1984 has come out, I am confused about Wonder Woman's position in this movie. Because, so, like, the first movie, she's gone away from humanity after Steve dies. And then, like, she's literally on TV in the second movie. But then, like, Batman v Superman, we're rediscovering her. And, like, so I'm like, I don't understand. Do people know who Wonder Woman is? Or, like, is this just random lady with a sword hanging out? Because it seems like it could be either one.
They didn't plan these movies out really well. Let's be honest with you. They just...
It's not the MCU, no.
It is not.
It's not the MCU, but, like, I do think this movie does more to help justify parts of it. It's weird.
The MCU, you think?
Well, the cinematic. Sorry. But it's weird to think they're going to reboot everything in the Flash movie while there are still sequels to other like Aquaman and Shazam currently in production.
Another Batman movie coming out. That has nothing to do with this at all.
Right, that has nothing to do with this. And by the way, Batfleck, very comfortable with guns. Very like just wielding them all over.
I mean, in that warehouse or pier scene, I'm pretty sure Batman had to have killed some of those people. You can't like. There's no way that he didn't kill some of those people.
Oh wait, you're talking from Batman v Superman?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say, wait, that scene wasn't.
Honestly, I get all those movies confused. I kind of mushed them all into one long thing.
So I mean, I don't know. Like, there's some stuff. The other thing I will mention is, if you remember when they're in the sewer stuff and Flash and they're about to fight Steppenwolf for the first time as like a team, and Flash is real nervous and Batman's like, just save one person and then save another. And you're like, wait, this guy's a super... He's literally made this suit. Like, it's not his first day. Why do you need to give him this pep talk? And that is not in this movie at all.
Cutting room floor.
So, like, I'm like, I like that scene because I just like what's being said. But, like, to think about it, like, this man had, like, stolen materials from the space program or whatever so that he could make a suit. And he probably doesn't need a pep talk about, like, oh, how do I save people? So anyway, so that's the Snyder Cut. Again, if you already have HBO Max, I don't know, you have 4 hours, you should watch it or break it up.
I'll watch it.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it.
Exactly. Yeah, like, let's all talk about this honestly. Everyone's gonna watch it. My parents are gonna watch, and they just watched the first Justice League a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, why? I don't understand.
They gotta know.
So they can come. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's called studying.
It just means there's gonna be a lot of questions if I go over and watch it with them. Like, who's that? What? Also, I don't know if I want to talk about that. There are multiple characters in the background, like people's names that get dropped, or like, oh, here's a character that it's 100% the MCU. Like, oh, that person's gonna be someone, or is someone, like, is a character that is important. Including a character that Joss Whedon cut that they brought back in, who is another stalwart of the Justice League.
I know what you're talking about, and he is played by he's played by Harry Lennox.
He is.
Yeah, I read about that. Yeah,
and he shows up in the Man of Steel as the start for his character. So,
that's so weird that he did not even know that's who Zack Snyder intended his character to be.
I read that article.
That's just so odd to me.
So, anyway,
Marcus, can we just say it? I don't know.
There's
how was there this much footage to make?
Oh, I mean, this
is
why
whole additional movie.
This is why they spent $80 million and
it was $80 million.
I believe it was the budget.
Didn't they first say $30 million and no reshoots?
Why didn't you just make a new movie?
Well, see, honestly, that's a fair question. Maybe they just want like, yo, there's some stink on that Justice League movie.
Just to say we're sorry.
Just
here's
a
budget.
They also got rid of all that bad like there are some CG scenes that I don't think are great, but there is nothing Superman's mustache level in this.
That was horrible.
Good.
That took me out of the movie. I was like,
that was
so bad.
So anyway, you should check it. You should check it out. You know what? There is one character. It's probably, I don't know. It's the character that when I was talking to my coworkers, they're like, "Oh, I didn't even catch that." Crispus Allen shows up in a scene in Gotham. He turns out to be the Spectre, but he's like the fourth version of the Spectre. He used to work for Gotham PD. He worked with Renee Montoya, and then he dies, and he becomes the spirit of vengeance, the Spectre. And I'm like, oh, it's him. And my coworker's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So it was not him.
No one knows. I'm like, no, 100%.
I mean,
there is one thing I know in this world. It's probably obscure comic book character.
I don't have much obscure DC knowledge. I'm sorry to say. They have not done a good job.
It's more just, hey, like this is, I recognize this. Like, also, J.K. Simmons is in this movie. I mean, he's Commissioner Gordon, but like he's like the more ripped Commissioner Gordon.
Like, how are you like J. Jonah Jameson and Commissioner Gordon? Like,
I need his agent. Holy cow!
You're just trying to challenge like Ian McKellen for like God of the Nerds or whatever. So. Like, you're Magneto and Gandalf? I'm J. Jonah Jameson and Commissioner Gordon.
This is a 9-hour movie. Deal with
Sir Patrick Stewart's right there for me.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, it's the same idea. So aside from that, I don't know if we talked about this the last time we were on, but I watched the Pacific Rim The Black TV series that's on Netflix.
Okay.
It takes place after the second movie, but like 20 years or 30 years after the second movie. And stuff is going, we have abandoned Australia. Like the reason they call it The Black is because they have abandoned the whole continent. And for some reason also like shot down all the satellites above it. So like there's no coverage of Australia. You'd think we'd want to like watch just to make sure the monsters weren't getting off of the continent.
Probably.
But no, the last thing they do is they like shove all the satellites over Australia, just drop to the ground. So it's an animated series on Netflix. It starts off like a lot of animated series. Oh, look at these plucky two teens, and they're the son and daughter of a Jaeger pilot pair, and like they're dealing with like they're some of the drones from Uprising. So like the Jaegers that were also had the monster tech and kaiju tech and them and stuff like that shows up. It's better than the second movie. I'll say that.
Oh, good, because that was not great.
That movie is not good. I've watched just go on YouTube and watch like the highlights, and that's the best part of that movie.
Okay, unless your question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Why didn't they understand what we liked about the first movie? Is
because Guillermo del Toro was like, "Yeah, I don't want to make a sequel. I don't care what bucket of money you throw at me."
Right.
But anyway, Aaron, you were gonna.
I was gonna make a crappy joke about did they cancel the apocalypse in the.
I mean, there are three characters. There are three characters they make reference to, and it's Riley Beckett, who's the main character. It's Stacker Pentecost, which is Idris Elba's character, and it's Herc Hansen, who's the guy who replaces Idris Elba when he goes into the mech with the guy's son, like into God, whatever the name of the Australian mech was. I want to say Europa something, and I know that's not right.
I don't remember the second. What happens at the end of the second movie? I honestly don't remember.
At the end of the second movie, the kaiju like Voltron up, and they become the big one, and they kill pretty much everyone in the Jaeger except for the little girl and Finn, and then. They put a rocket on their hand and fly into space, and then they rocket punch the monster that's going for Mount Fiji because like if it puts its blood into the volcano, it's going to start a reaction around the Pacific
Oh
Rim.
God, it was dumb.
It's so bad.
Like the way you're describing that just sounds.
I had blocked out most of this till you started describing it, and then it's like, no. Put those memories back down.
You see the comment? You see the comment?
Can we ban Programmer Man 1? That is the worst comment from the second movie is terrible. That quote is still the worst. It doesn't make any sense. Like, are we saying there's no circuits in Gypsy Danger that like an EMP doesn't affect it at all? Which is what their argument is. That they can go take on the two. Anyway,
this is some context, Marcus. Tiny takes great umbrage. with this line.
It's like a giant clockwork mech is what they like.
It's all gears and steam. It's all gears and steam.
The dumbest. Whatever. There are a lot of things I'm willing to just look past in that movie. Like they forgot there was a sword, or qualified Jaeger pilots get taken out just like flies. Like these people have been doing this for 20 years,
Dead.
And yet somehow, not sorry. We also just the size scale doesn't make sense, and it makes no sense for a lot of things. So, like the first time you see Gypsy Danger, it rises up next to the ship and then picks up the ship. But then in the next scene, the water's at its like knee level. So you're like, was Gypsy Danger like limboing out to that ship? Because that's the only way this all makes sense from like a height standpoint.
It never made sense.
Oh yeah, no, that movie is dumb fun, and I enjoy the hell out of it, and I will watch it pretty much whenever it's on. But oh god, it's analog. It's such a dumb quote from that movie.
Smokes and gear, I'm telling you.
It's just it's so dumb. It's just a giant clockwork mech. So anyway, the last thing I'm going to talk about, which is not dumb, this week, Extra Life. So if you if you're listening to the show, you probably heard of Extra Life. It's a game charity marathon that supports children's hospitals.
You've mentioned it for 400 plus episodes. Yes.
So they announced their tournament for this year, Extra Life United. Traditionally, it's an in-person tournament. This will be the second year that it's remote. And they announced their 5 games for this year's tournament. Magic Gathering, The Arena, Among Us, Fall Guys, Rocket League, and Chess.com. I assume for that Queen's Gambit crowd. And I'm very happy to say they have most of the like tournament rules already up and whatnot. So it's free to register if you like to play those games. It's the last weekend in April. So you can play that. You can play those games and potentially earn money for your local Children's Miracle Network hospital. So so go to extra-life.org to check it out. And if you want to like get merch and stuff, that's how they're raising money for the tournament. So yeah, but that's about it. We could talk more about Pacific Rim if you want. There's whole books that like I didn't realize there was a board game that actually is supposed to act as like the 3rd chapter in the Pacific Rim movies.
What?
I think it's Pacific Rim: The End or something.
Uh-oh.
I was reading about it because
he's going to BGG now.
This TV show takes place after it.
Okay.
What?
Is the understanding? I mean, there are comics, there are books, but it's either Pacific Rim: The End or Pacific Rim: The Apocalypse, something like that.
It should be Pacific Rim Uncanceled Apocalypse.
I was looking at it like, oh, it's another board game I can put in a closet and not play. Right next to that Batman board game I'll eventually get at some point. Just go look at the status on that. So
the one on Kickstarter now?
The animated one that was on Kickstarter, like 6 months ago, I want to say, or something. So, but yeah, so that's about all I can really think of. I really enjoyed the Snyder Cut. Like, I'm surprised at how much I enjoyed the Snyder
I'm glad that says a lot, because I feel like had it not had some level of quality, we would have heard.
I mean, it's not Batman v Superman. No one's like peeing in a jar and then putting it on a congressman's desk.
Oh God.
That was
Martha.
Stop it.
I will say, someone says Martha in this movie, and I wanted someone to be like, "Why'd you say that name?" No. It would have made no context for that scene. But I just wanted someone to say that in the background.
I remember watching that with my family. They were just like, my wife was incredulous. Like, are you serious?
What?
Are you serious? Both their mothers have the same. That's why.
That's the whole thing. And like,
she was
Batman,
like, no.
I will say this is something that kind of carries through on both versions of Justice League. Batman is like, oh, I made a promise on his grave. We were such close friends, and I don't understand. You know this man for like 10 minutes,
and tried to kill him.
Right? Like for a lot of, yeah. Anyway,
barely.
But both of our mother's names were
Martha. So
Martha. So like,
we're kindred spirits.
Martha Club.
The Sons of Martha Club. All right.
But yeah, let's move on to what we're playing.
Yeah, Marcus, what have you been playing as of late?
Oh, gee. So board games. I finally got a chance to play My City. We got just barely into the first chapter of that. It's the new Reiner Knizia legacy style game, I guess. So the stuff you do in one game carries through to the next time you play.
So are you a legacy person? Like, are you into legacy stuff? Is this your first legacy or? Oh
no, I don't know. I've played them. I'm not designing any because that's just an exercise in torture that I don't need. But just try to imagine all the ways your game could go, and then still try to make a cohesive experience over repeated plays. I don't want to do that. But I've played 2 of the Pandemic Legacy games. Mm-hmm. We played Charterstone. Played through the Machikoro Legacy. Yeah, I like legacy games.
Okay, I didn't play Machikoro till like maybe a month and a half ago, and I like it. That's a great game. How does the legacy work in that? How does that? Are you taking out cards? What's the narrative behind?
The narrative is a little silly and it's a little thin.
Okay,
but it is mostly swapping rules out, swapping some components out. Okay. And you get to choose which cards get added to the game. It's a solid legacy game, but there's more with the format that can be done than what was done in that game.
I'm sorry to get you distracted. You were talking about My City. Excuse me. So.
Oh yeah, so My City is the Reiner Knizia one where it's got kind of Tetris-like pieces you're putting on the board, and the constraints are the pieces are different colors, different shapes, and I haven't really gotten far enough to see how he's using legacy elements. Just each game you play, the rules are tweaked slightly, and I think some more major rule swings are happening later on in the game. But at the end of it, you add stickers to your board, so your board's different than your neighbor's. And
I don't know.
I like what he's doing with it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I just don't know if I feel comfortable like putting a sticker on a physical object and then altering it for perpetuity. I just can't do it.
It's definitely a thing the first time they tell you to rip up a card or
can't you just
that's not in your game now.
Can't you?
It's in somebody else's game.
Can't you just tuck it under the box or something? Can't you just throw it behind you? I mean,
there are definitely people that try to play the game in a non-destructive way so that when we're done, I can play it again. Or it's like, honestly, if you take the cost of a board game and you're going to play this thing 20 times, you got your value. You really did.
Yeah, but the idea of just changing something, it's something about it bothers me. I don't know what it is.
Oh yeah,
I'm not like one of those don't bend that kind of. I'm not that person, but just I don't know. I'm glad I do want to play My City. I'm glad you're having fun with it. I am curious. I like Tetramino's pieces and all that kind of stuff. I enjoy that, but if
I do design a legacy game, I'm going completely nuts. I'm going to set things on fire.
You will need you will need to provide a blowtorch.
You need to observe which color that card burned to know what to do next. So you need to burn it.
If you remember what this is, put this screwdriver through your temple so you don't remember what this is. Now win the game.
Oh. Yeah, no, I'm definitely a legacy player. We even played, what was the... Seafall. We played Seafall.
I'm not familiar with that one. Tell me about that one.
Oh, geez. That's the Rob Davio one. It's a little bit about piracy, but not much. A little bit about colonization, but not much. It's kind of hard to describe. There's a lot going on with it. There's kind of a whole book of stories that you like go to an island and you explore it, and then it tells you what happens to you. Very swingy, but yeah. Tough to explain that one. Probably my favorite of the legacy games I've played was Pandemic Season 1. I've not yet played Season 0. That's the new one. But I've heard many, many good things.
I have only played regular Pandemic and the first Pandemic dice game, The Cure. I've not played any other Pandemic other than those. And there's a lot of them.
You're right here.
Yeah, The Cure is good.
The Cure is great. I love The Cure.
Is good. It's I honestly, I felt like when I played The Cure the first time, like I might not play the original game anymore. I might just go back to The Cure.
Pandemic Legacy Season 1 is my favorite thing I've ever put on a table. So
wow,
that
is quite the statement. Wow.
Yes, as previously mentioned, all the horrible games.
Have you played Risk Legacy? Matt was talking about on the chat. Was mentioning Risk Legacy. Have you played that one? I have not.
That's the original Legacy game, and I actually have not played it, which is terrible. I really should. I mean, it introduced the format.
It did, didn't it?
I mean, Aaron, if I thought we would play regularly, I own both of those Legacy games.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
because I don't know, I bought them on a whim, and again, they sit in that closet. So
yeah, you really do need to have a group of people that are committed to finishing, because nobody wants to take over somebody else's position.
Why did they do this?
They put stickers on the board.
Exactly.
They've named things.
That's fine. I've only played. You mentioned Charterstone, and I have the digital version of Charterstone, but I have not played the analog version. Would you be? Would you play something like Charterstone on Steam? Would you be willing to play that? Come on, Marcus. Come on. It's good for what ails you.
I enjoyed our play of Charterstone in person, but I really like having my games be physical. I really do.
Well, if you play that game in person, I guess it's hard to switch it up like that. Yeah, that's not the same.
I'm so used to playing in person.
Yeah, that game can be intimidating because if you just start like a I don't know what mode it is, but like you can start and there's so much stuff on this. There's too many places to put a worker. It was like there's 50 things here. I like starting from like the beginning where you have like 8 or 9 places you can go, not 50. Yeah. I can't. That's intimidating for me.
It's not so bad if you've been going through it and building up over time.
But imagine like
which
instantly.
things are not useful.
Like, boom. Yeah. That's a good one though. But once again, if I had the physical version, I kind of doubt I would. Maybe I put stickers on it. I don't know. I just
you'd kind of have to. I don't know how you'd be able to play it. I mean, they sell a recharge kit, so you can reset your copy of Charterstone and play it again.
Aren't the boards are double sided? Don't you always have a side that's like the regular generic board if you just want to play a quick match of the game? Isn't that?
I'm sure you could do that. Yeah.
A thing. Oh.
But, like, I'm not the owner of the game. My friend has it, so I daily have to go check.
Oh, I can tear somebody else's stuff off. We're good. I mean, if it was yours. So.
But again, there's a recharge pack, so you can reset your copy of Charterstone, so you can play again.
Now, does that cost like $5 less than the actual full game?
It does cost significantly less than the full game. I think it's still around $15.
Oh, okay, that's not bad. Yeah.
It's actually not bad. It might be more.
Okay. And I see that you have Cartographers.
Oh yeah, I played that again last week. So kind of not a roll and write because it's cards.
It's a flip and write, I guess.
Yeah, it's a flip and write. That one's pretty good.
I enjoy that one.
I haven't had a chance to really dig into the expansions yet, but just the base game is still very good.
I'm not, and it's funny. I signed up for a beta for some expansions, and I need to print that stuff out and do something with it like soon. So,
yeah, I think I only played the expansions as they were in development. So
okay, I haven't really played the expansion. It's funny. I've not played. That's the only role player game that I've played.
Oh, so I definitely play role player.
It's on my list. It is definitely on my list. Yeah, it's. Yeah,
I need to get into.
James likes it as well. I see. Yeah, I need to. There's a lot of things I need to do, but yeah.
I had a chance to pick that up at a convention, which tells you how long ago this was, but they had like extra copies they were trying to get rid of. I'm like, I don't have space in my carry-on.
Just hold it.
I really should have. I should have just held it on the flight. Like, do you need anything? No. Nope. I need you to get away from my copy of this.
Don't touch my cartographers.
But it's role player. First of all, it's just an amazing fun.
Yeah.
It's just a dice game where you're making RPG characters. And
pretty much.
They need to. Yeah, no, it's a great game.
Do you play cartographers?
Check out the expansions.
I'm sorry. I was saying, do you play cartographers the mobile version? It's just single player, sort of a score competition thing.
I have not looked into that yet.
It is. I'm telling you, it's a great. I'm waiting in the line at the post office game or whatever. It is. Like I said, there's no multiplayer, but you can always go for the high score and compare. It's good. I really enjoy that game.
I played in person in the space helmets. That gives you an idea.
Oh, I own the game physically, but it's a great time if I have time to kill cartographers, and I'm not good at it either. Like I really, my negative score does not make me feel great, but because it's mean. Like you think you're doing okay, that you forget. Like no, you have to subtract the value of all of those different seasonal cars, and it's like, well, I'm trash. Like, I'm terrible at this game.
That's hilarious.
So that is good. Let's see. James likes the app is pretty fun. So. All right. I guess in terms of flipping rights, have you ever played Silver and Gold? That's another good flipping right that I.
No, and I almost bought it because it was on sale at Target.
You should. Was it one of those buy one get one free?
No, it was just straight on sale.
Okay.
I think it was like $13.
That's a good one.
And I was like,
and then I found somebody there's a couple of solo variants. Just make room. Just knock something on the floor.
Oh man, there's solo variants. That was the thing.
They are unofficial, but they're good. They're unofficial, but it's still good.
I think I could do that. Now, here's the thing with one-player games for me. They just feel like an indulgence. Like, I'm going to take up the table all night. I'm going to put out this board. Put out all these cards. This is just for me. No one else is invited.
You're all going to watch.
Don't look at it. Don't touch it. Don't smell it. I do that a lot. I play a lot of solo games because people don't always want to play. So it's like, oh, fine, I'll play with myself. Okay.
I have to get in the mindset for it. I have not gotten there.
2020 do a lot of things to you, man. Let me tell you.
I think solo games are better than if you try to take like a 6-player game and make the 2-player version. It's like, no, that game wants 6 people. Stop doing that.
Some games don't lend themselves well. Or they have these AIs that are impossible to beat. It's like, I'll never win this game.
Please make a proper 2-player version. Don't give me the diet big game version.
That does happen. Yeah. I've definitely played some ones I'm like, this isn't really a solo game. Or it's so different than the multiplayer where it's like, this isn't even the same game. Like this is
designing a solo game is just a challenging experience because you can't, it's not a simulation of the big game. It's a different game with the same parts, and it has the flavor of the full game, unless you're designing a strictly 1-player game, which that's a whole nother set of skills.
Like, have you played Everdell before?
No, I need to.
Okay.
Like I have in my basement just a stack of things acquired in 2020 that have not seen playtime.
Oh, no, I'm not judging. Don't get me wrong. I understand completely.
I'm not asking to be judged. It's just one of those things where like, I want to play that. It's on my list. I have a copy. It's in the basement. I'm just going to use the whiskey. It's mellowing. Like, I don't know. What else is it doing? It's just sitting there.
It's a shelf
of opportunity. It doesn't even have a proper place. Yeah, there are many opportunities to be in the basement.
There are. And we got a question in the chat from Programmer Man 1. What are some good solo games?
He's just putting people on the spot.
Oh, okay. Let's take a quick look at my shelf. I mean, I don't know. Do you have some that you want to rattle off when I'm looking?
Under Falling Skies. It's a game about alien invasion.
Under Falling Skies. Okay.
I think that one's what it's called, and that one's strictly 1-player game. but like, what do people enjoy? Like, I know people who play Gloomhaven want to play, and I'm just like, only for testing.
I'm trying to think. I like a lot of rolling rights, so I think like stuff like Ganshon Clever. That's a good one.
I've played so much Ganshon Clever.
Rolling
on my phone.
Can you play Rolling America? Yeah, I do too. I'm terrible. I see people talking about 330. I'm like 300. I'm awful then. I'm garbage at that game. If you get 300, I'm terrible. I'm the worst.
I know there's a couple one-player games I have not had a chance to play. There's one called Coffee Roaster.
I've seen that one.
I think it's called Proving Grounds. Some sort of
Tumblestone from Weird Giraffe is a really good. If you like chucking some dice.
Oh yeah, I have that sitting in my basement too.
That's a good one, man. Like is
there a one-player variant on that?
Oh yeah, I think it's made by well, Kevin Russ was one of the designers, but I think Carla Kopp, who runs, I think she owns and runs Weird Giraffe. I think she made that one.
I know Carla pretty well.
She does. Well, I never met Carla, but I played a game with her once online. You probably met her in person. I haven't done that, but her solo games are really, really good. So I think like any of the Weird Giraffe stuff, you kind of can't go wrong. Like Big Easy Busking, the game Weird Giraffe put out, good solo mode. What's the one in space that they put out? No, Dreams of Tomorrow.
Oh, I've not seen that one.
That is a good one. That's a good solo. Because what she does is she makes different like versions of the AI for different skill sets. So she's like an easier one up to one that's I would say almost impossible to beat. But that's I'm projecting. What else? Oh,
I'm sorry. It's Proving Grounds is solo and real time. I'm gonna have to look at that. That's
what's another good solo?
That's a lot.
Overboss.
I've been seeing people post about this a lot lately for some reason.
Overboss is a lot of fun. I think.
Oh, Kane designed that. Okay. I have to play it.
It's Overboss is designed by Kevin Russ. It's put out by Brother Wise. I think Tom, you're probably seeing it because I think Brother Wise signed a deal to make a Dragon Prince board game. So that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Fantastic Factories has a really good solo mode. It's tough, but it's very good though. I don't know. I feel like if you go with some rolling rights, you kind of can't go wrong. If you go with like an Octo Dice or a Zorro the Dice game, stuff like that. Because you already have the randomness in it because you're checking dice, so and it feels like the regular game as well. What else here?
That's good.
Oh, Tiny Towns. That's a good solo mode. More of a score beating than going against an AI kind of thing, but still good. So I'll probably be here all day if I keep doing this. So anything else you've been playing, Marcus?
I really would like to play more stuff. I have not had the chance.
I'll tell you then one of the differences for me is gotta play TTS, man. You got the TTS up there, man. I don't know what to tell you. Like, or BGA. BGA is somewhat automated.
Board Game Arena works.
It does.
It works well, but Tabletop Simulator is like trying to play a board game via walkie-talkie and chopsticks. It's not. It feels wrong in ways that like it
there's a learning curve.
I don't know, man. There's a learning curve, but it's like the game, for being in a computer, does not, unless it's been scripted, it just doesn't enforce any of the rules. So it's almost like playing a board game in person, except disembodied.
Yeah, Matt just said TTS changed the design experience to me personally, but it definitely takes some getting used to. Yeah.
I mean, like, you think, I'm just going to upload a deck of cards. No, you aren't. You're going to open a program. You're going to learn how the program works. It's going to export a file that you can use to import a deck of cards.
Like, I mean, I've lived with this way. I learned how to play Terraforming Mars on TTS. Not the standalone, like, mobile app or the Steam version. I learned how to play Transforming Mars in a 5-hour game on TTS.
Did you? That's two problems right there.
It was fun.
you're not certain that you actually played that game properly according to the rules if you played it on
No,
Tabletop
of course
Simulator.
not. I wouldn't be certain either way. I mean,
And two, it took 5 hours. That's just not
yeah.
right.
It was fun though. But I hear you. I hear you. But I enjoyed it. I don't know. It was fun.
I'd rather spend that time playing like Eclipse in person. You could. That's 5 hours.
Yeah. There's some good ones. I mean, there's some good. I'm trying to think. Like something that's like simple mechanically. Like there's some pretty good Azul mods on there because you don't have to do a whole lot.
That one's fully scripted. So that one
fully
works
scripted.
Okay.
Point Salad fully scripted. There's some ones that everything doesn't necessarily require. But yeah, Terraforming Mars is probably not the ideal thing to play. That's what I was kind of hinting. Once I played the Steam version, I was like, "Can we play that one?" There's real
computer version. There's real like iPad versions of those games, and they're like, "Oh, this is how you play it." Those work, but they're high investment for the developers to put together. Tabletop Simulator is at least lower effort.
Yeah, it's fun. I mentioned to somebody that I like TTS better than Tabletopia, and they were like incredulous, like what? How? I'm like, it doesn't crash as much. I've had so many issues with Tabletopia just crashing on me.
I haven't bothered to use Tabletopia because Board Game Arena does the supported games that are legal, and then Tabletop Simulator has everything.
Everything.
But good luck.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you're on VGA, we should play something. The automation helps.
Yeah, I'm on VGA.
Okay.
Give me my stuff.
Okay, I'll stop badgering you now. Maybe.
I should be better at Tabletop Simulator, but I'm just the time. I still have a cheat sheet around here of the commands because I spend the whole day on the computer already.
And you're like, yeah, I know what you mean. It's like, no, yeah, that's true.
I need a break. I'm gonna go work on something.
Oh, what we've been doing lately is like we'll play roll and write, but just use Zoom. So we'll just, everybody print out the sheets or whatever, and somebody's overhead camera and camera over their dice tray, and we play a lot of games like that, just using cameras.
That could work.
That's pretty fun. We played Motor City Gameworks. They just put out the Kickstarter for Three Sisters, so I previewed that one for their Kickstarter, and then we played a game maybe like a couple of weeks ago. Oh, and Matt in the chat just says I did a Tiny Towns over web chat. It works really well for that kind of thing. So there's obviously it's not the same, but at least you are still touching the components. So it's something,
It's something.
Yeah.
I did Wordsy over chat on a podcast.
There you go.
So that worked.
See, in a month later now, you be playing bees over chat. No, not too much. Like, no.
That one's real time, shared components. There's no way.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
In fact, I watch people try to play that on Tabletop Simulator, and that was actually just hilarious for how poor an experience it is.
Was it a mod that they just wanted to?
Somebody put in some work. It's not fully scripted, but they did make it so that when you flip the tiles over, they go into like specific spots on the table, so that everything tessellates properly. But holy cow, it's like you have to like pick up your dice and put them onto physical locations, and it's real time. It's like there's no way.
Well,
it was entertaining.
They they like your game. They really wanted to share it.
They really worked hard.
Yeah, so that it's flattering that somebody took the time to.
It was very funny.
Like, what did you play with them, or you just stumbled upon it? Like, is that my game on TTS? Or like,
they like tweeted out that they were running a live stream, so I was kind of rules litigator from the sidelines.
You're doing it wrong. Just no.
No. They'd have questions. I'm like, I know the answer to that. So just volunteer that.
I made that. All right. Anything else that you've been playing?
I tried to play Avengers on the PS4. This is just like everything. Video games just does not work for me once you start going third person, first person, any of those camera angles. It's just like, it does not matter how well they coded it. It just makes me physically ill in seconds. So I want to play things. I just can't.
The will is there. The body is just not ready.
Well, there's plenty of games that came out 20, 30 years ago that you can still enjoy. Like, if you could maybe just enjoy retro stuff.
It would have to. Like, everything since 1998 has been very hit or miss.
There's a lot of good games that came out before 98, let me tell you.
I mean, I also hear you like board games, and that maybe there is a shelf of opportunity is what we were is the code word we're using now. So,
yes, we're encouraging ourselves.
A basement of opportunity.
Opportunities.
Need more players.
Load-bearing walls of board games. Don't take that down.
I have 3 rooms of opportunity just waiting for more players.
Before we started, I know you were saying that you had a Genesis. So I mean, there's plenty of 2-dimensional things.
Oh yeah. Well, sure. Yes, I can still do. You know what? I played Streets of Rage, the new ones. They had Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
That is a good game.
Good job.
Some of the same people that are making that new TMNT game.
Yes.
I cannot wait for that. I have like the TMNT arcade thing they had at Walmart. I've got that in my front room.
The one-up one? Very nice.
Yes, I have the one-up one. So I am very much the audience for the new side-scrolling Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game.
You can hack those now, right? Is that
Can you?
I assume that
I think it's more you can put a Raspberry Pi in them.
Oh.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if you're necessarily hacking their PCB, or you can just replace the computing module inside there with like a Raspberry Pi or whatnot,
and just run every arcade game ever made.
Right.
Yeah.
Or a
I have not tried to make a generic main cabinet out of it, but I mean, if that works, this one's got 4 positions with buttons. That's not bad.
Not at all. Not at all. All right.
But,
all right. I'll try to be brief. I'm known for droning on and on about things that I played. Forgive me. Just
list o games.
I'll be good. All right. So I played Mindleaf from Hopwood Games. That's interesting. It's like a sort of 4x4 grid, I believe. Yes. And each player has 8 tiles, like different leaves on them. Leaves on them. And what you're doing is you're trying to score points by getting rows of 3 or 4 of your tiles. But the interesting thing is when you put a tile down, you're also telling the player, it's only 2 players. So when you put a tile down, you're instructing the other player, on where they can place theirs. So you can put a tile down that says you can only place them orthogonally, diagonally, nowhere adjacent, or it has to be adjacent to what I put down. So your moves have.
What's that called?
It's Mindleaf, but it's spelled MIJNLIEFF from Hopwood Games. It's pretty cool. It plays really quickly, but I don't know. I dug it. Like the fact that you're putting down a tile to help yourself, but then you're also instructing your opponent on where they can put theirs. You have to really think about, you could help them if you don't think about it. Well, I'm putting this down, I have 3 in a row. But you could also be helping them to maybe get 4 in a row or something like that. So you got to think about it. Every turn you make is like, well, how is this going to affect what they're going to do?
Okay.
I had some fun with that one. It's a small bag game, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's abstract. I'm looking at it now because I can't be told about a board game and not immediately look it up.
Hey, I do the same thing. It's hard not to. The same designer put out a game called Dodeca. So this game's a pretty simple card game. There's 5 suits, and each suit goes for the numbers on all the different cards go from lowest 0 to 4. So basically you have a deck, you put out 3 cards. You can do 2 things on your turn. You can either take the card closest to the deck in your hand and then slide down the other ones, or you can take a card from the top of the deck and put it at the end furthest away from the deck. But the whole trick is, if the numbers on all the cards, if you go over 12, you have to take all the cards. So
Do I not want cards?
Well, you do. The whole thing is you're acquiring cards the whole game, either that are 0 through 4. But at the end of the game, you look at all your cards and figure out, well, in the blue suit, all the numbers on them add up to 20. So I'm making blue my suit. But then you lose 1 point for every other card you have.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's interesting.
All right.
But there's
a little twist. I like it.
Yeah, it's simple mechanically, but we really dug it. We played we played it and played it again like right away because it was pretty fun. And the thing is, there's a mechanic where if you go over 12, let's say there's 11 points worth of cards out there, but the last card is a 3. So you take the top card of the deck and put out another 3. Okay, well now you're at 14, so you've busted. You've gone over 12, but because it's another 3. You don't bust, it just becomes the next player's turn.
That reminds me a little bit of Poison. But
I haven't played that.
That's Reiner Knizia game.
Another Reiner.
How long ago they?
I think every game we mentioned has been a Reiner Knizia game. There's so many games.
2005. It's been a while.
Okay. No, but it's fun. I don't know. It's one of those games.
I have a bootleg copy because I can't find an original.
Hey.
They keep rebranding it. They keep putting out. They put it out as remakes, but they don't put out Poison. That had witches' cauldrons and poisons, and they made ones called Baker's Dozen. I'm I don't want that. That's donuts.
Poison.
It's a game about brewing potions. I want poison. All right.
It's a BBD simulator. I'm sorry, I had to. I see in the chat that James was asking what the name was. I don't know if he meant Poison or he meant Dodeca. Dodeca is Dodekka. Dodeca. So what else? Been playing Everdell.
The listing in BGG is Friday the 13th because that's what
Friday the 13th
looks like Yellow put it out as. It's just annoying. Well, at least it's closer.
We talking about Poison?
Yeah.
Poison 2017.
No, I think for 2005.
Oh, there's a lot of poisons.
There are. Because Reiner's games don't come out just once.
That's true.
They come out, then somebody else gets to reprint them.
And they come out again, and they're like phoenixes. What else?
I'd love to do that. Oh, good lord!
I've been playing a bunch of Everdell. They sent me an email saying, "Hey, do you want to review preview the new expansions?" And I was like, "I don't own anything." They said, "We will send you everything." I was like, "Okay."
Yes, I will do that.
Yeah, okay. So I need to hurry up and make this content. I mean, the thing is, their Kickstarter came out. They're at like $1.8 million, something like that. But I didn't.
You'll notice that.
Yeah, I still didn't get my content together. But I've been going through I'm trying to I've learned the base game, and by that I mean I lose. I've been playing one single player because people are busy, I just keep playing solo. So I'm trying to go through each of the 3 expansions they sent, so I can learn those, so I can talk about what the differences are between those and then the sample pack of the new stuff. So I'm messing with that. Played Patchwork for the first time a couple of days ago.
Oh,
such a good game. Oh,
it really is.
It's funny. I played with my oldest a couple of days ago. She won. They usually do that. Played with my 11-year-old today. I explained the game to her. She won by a point. I was proud of her because she normally beats me, but I like when she beats me. She's getting it. It's good. So that's such a good game. I don't know what I have Patchwork Doodle, and I like it. It's fun.
Okay, yeah.
But it's such a different game.
But then I want to make a game where after you put it out, they're like, "This is good. Let's put out a Christmas version."
Exactly.
All right. Let's put out a 4th of July version.
That's
cool.
some tense.
Am I still getting checks?
Exactly. Well, his name. Hey, I mean, his name is still on Patchwork Americana, and yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah. What else? Welcome to Your New Home. I've been playing that. Playing that on BGA actually with some coworkers.
Okay.
That's a good one. Have you played that one?
I have, but I don't count my games unless you play them in person. I keep a log of my games and I'm like, okay.
I don't do that. I need to. I just don't. I don't know why. So yeah, play Welcome to. I checked out a game coming out, I think in the summer, like maybe June, from Pandasaurus called Brew. It's a dice placement game where you are. What are you doing? You're like, I don't know, like you're trying to like build potions to get points, and you're also like trying to take over different, like 3 cards have different territories on them. It's pretty slick. I demoed that. Was it the week before last? It's pretty fun. I enjoyed that one.
Surprised the name was available.
I know, right? It's just BREW, Brew.
Yeah.
And
the pictures are Tabletop Simulator. Thank you.
Of course. I like the art too. It's pretty slick. And Ghost Rider. I demoed a game called Ghost Rider from Resonim. I think that Kickstarter started like Tuesday.
Like based on the PBS Classic?
No. Although I thought about that.
Disappointed.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I mean, Tiny. To be fair, I never really I know what that show is. I didn't really watch it.
I understand you're older.
I did watch it.
I did watch that show, and I enjoyed it.
Oh.
So.
Well, it's a word game.
Having is I don't know if there's a large enough audience to support Ghost Rider the PBS show as a board game. Even though, yes, the kind of nerds that were watching Ghost Rider are probably the kind of nerds that buy board games.
Yeah.
I would imagine that's an overlap.
Yeah,
like
there's a Venn diagram somewhere.
A Venn diagram that strongly resembles a circle.
It would roll downhill.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't have cable, so like, Ghost Rider.
So it's a word game. I think it's a team. It's like a party game. So you have 2 teams, and basically one person is like the medium. Basically, like you're asking somebody. You have a series of questions. I think you get like 5 or 6. You pick 2, and then like they provide an answer. They start spelling out an answer to those 2 questions. So the word is like computer, and both teams are trying to get their teammates to guess that word. So you can hear everything going on. So but the 2 questions that both sides are getting are different, but then everybody can hear and see what the words being spelled. But instead of having them spell the whole word out, once you think you know what it is, you say silencio, so they stop. So if you don't want to, because if too much of a clue for you, too much of a clue for everybody. So it's fun. And then I think after like the 3rd or 4th, like not round, but like turn, the team who goes second can ask for an additional letter that you stopped having the person spell. So they have more information, so they can maybe guess before you. Because one team has to go first, so they try to even it out. It was pretty slick. I liked it. It's on I don't know if the website's going to be up forever, but they had it running on a site. It's a pretty simple, interface. But I think the game will have more of a. You played Mysterium before?
Oh yeah.
Tony, your hand is raised. Yes.
Did you know they rebooted Ghost Rider on Apple Plus?
Yes.
I
have not looked at that.
There's Apple Plus. Do people watch those shows?
Apple TV Plus. It got nominated for 8 daytime Emmys, apparently.
What?
There's a 2nd season.
There's television during the day?
I need to go watch this. I mean, it's from the Sesame Workshop and
wow, okay, maybe I will watch it.
I need to go.
The only thing I've seriously watched on Apple TV was Ted Lasso.
I was going to say I'd have to get Apple TV to do this.
All you have to do is like hint that you want Apple TV, and they will get you a subscription.
Apple TV.
It will last for.
Is it that easy, Marcus? Is that all I need to say?
If you buy anything with an Apple on it, you will get.
Oh, yeah, I have an Android phone, so I don't.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. I do need to buy like a wash strap. You'll get freaking Apple TV.
I do need to refresh this iOS, this iPhone 7 Plus. So
if I just buy an Apple from the store, I'll bite into it, and it's like a code.
I did not know there was.
They want you to try it.
I did not know there was a Ghost Rider.
I didn't either.
I just had to break in with that because I was looking at the Wikipedia like, what?
I haven't paid for Apple TV yet, but if they make season 2 of Ted Lasso, they'll have my money.
A lot of people talk about that show and seem to really like it.
It is fantastic.
What is it about?
It's about an American football coach that moves to England to coach a soccer team, and he's terrible at it. It's great.
Why did they hire him to do this show? Or the show to do that if he's?
It's one of your guys from The Office. It's one of your guys from The Office.
I'm listening
for it. What was it? I think he was the lead for the competitive office towards the later. He was also in Hall Pass. What's his name? I can't believe I'm forgetting his name right now.
I don't know because I haven't seen him in anything else. I never watched the.
He was the lead for the competitor.
Or I thought I thought Michael's. Granted, again, remember how Jason Sudeikis? That's what I'm trying to think of.
Oh,
okay.
He wasn't in The Office at all. If I remember.
Wasn't he?
I don't believe he was in The Office.
Again, I mean,
questions for which I have no answers.
He was in 30 Rock. I haven't watched it.
I really thought he was in The Office for some reason. I don't know why. I'm good.
You're confusing Timothy Olyphant and Jason Sudeikis.
No, because
who look nothing
Timothy Olyphant is coming back for a new Justified TV spin. Anyway, that's a whole different discussion.
Okay. Well, let me hear stop talking.
I'm just looking at Jason Sudeikis' filmography, and I don't think I've seen any of this.
So why would they hire him to coach soccer if he knows nothing about soccer?
Oh, she's intentionally trying to bankrupt the team.
Oh, okay.
To get back at her husband, which is great.
Premise.
No, it's a phenomenal show. It really is. Oh wait, I did see that. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know any of the shows on Apple Plus because it never surfaces to me because I just don't know.
There's other shows on there that are like
Jennifer
on the list of things we want to watch. That one's the morning show.
Yeah, that's it.
That Steve Carell's in that one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But that one's. I think there's ones For All Mankind. It's kind of a alternate history version of the Space Race where we get there second. I haven't watched that yet, but that
Space Force show
kind
was
of
so
up my
bad.
alley.
Oh, it's terrible.
It was not good. That was long.
And that was like a reteaming of like Steve Carell and Greg Daniels, who The Office. I don't know what happened there. I watched 2 episodes and went, I'm not going to finish this thing.
I watched all the episodes.
This is not funny. Yet you won't watch The Office. I don't understand. Like, I don't get it. Like, anyway.
I mean, now The Office can never stand up to the praise that you have given it. So
that's true. Well, I mean,
now a ton of it.
I mean, the praise that me and like millions of others have been saying for I don't know how long.
I don't know those people.
Oh, okay. You know, fair enough. Let me just finish up. I'll just Millennial Manatees. I'm playing that. That's like a Machikoro kind of thing. Comes in a pink fanny pack. I played the solo game. I lost horribly, but I'm gonna get back in there and try again. So instead of Machikoro, you're rolling dice and you're getting you're trying to every person's turn means something because it can trigger something for you. Fantastic. In this game, you're flipping cards from a deck, and if there's little attributes at the bottom, trigger ones that you have bought, like things you have in front of you. You get more money. The whole point of the game is to pay off your student debt. So it's pretty funny. I don't know. I like it. I mean, it's you know what it's going for. It's
as a theme that sounds really depressing.
You know what? I can't argue with that. In terms of video game stuff, I've been playing. I play a lot of Mario 3D World. I'm still getting every star on every level. Just having a lot of fun with that. That's I don't know. I play other stuff too, but not enough to really get into it. Tony, how about you?
So I really boiled it down to 2 games. With the announcement of the new TMNT arcade game and Kane and Rentz did an episode on TMNT and the Simpsons arcade game this week. I decided, I'm like, hey, let me go look at some of the Turtles games I never played. And one of them would be the Sega Genesis game, Hyperstone Heist. So I played through that the other day.
I never really played that one.
I think I rented that at Blockbuster, so
it's a weird mix of like some Turtles in Time elements. At least one of the stages is based off the like arcade game, but like for example, you have a dedicated run button, but you can't throw people at the screen.
Oh man!
So not like Turtles in Time.
It's a weird.
How are you gonna fight Shredder? I don't understand.
Well, so that's the thing. Like some of the bosses are different. Like it's also kind of short. So what I played through. There's 5 total levels, and the 4th level is a gauntlet of the 3 previous bosses. And the turtles rip off of the xenomorph from Aliens, like just popping up every once in a while. But like it's a 2-player game. Like the art looks great, and I was playing on the Mister, so I was able to like push up the resolution. I could turn on like CRT filter and that kind of stuff. It's
showing off.
Playing with a 3-button controller, or I was using a 6-button. Like it's great. It was a lot of fun. So I played through that. I also went back to Turtles in Time to be like, hey, let me look at the differences of that on the Super Nintendo. And then I started talking to some people, and they're like, have you seen the Game Boy Advance Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles games? I was like, no.
Was that the Fox show that I never really watched based on that one?
So there are 2. There's one based off the CGI movie.
Okay. That really
came out from
that was like
Ubisoft.
07 though.
And then the other one is based off the cartoon from 2004 or 2003, 2004. I was watching a video. Both of these are beat 'em ups that are surprisingly very good. Like not just GBA shovelware. And like the Ubisoft one, since it follows the movie more, you're playing set levels with characters. But the one that follows the cartoon, you start off, you pick your character, you get a hub, their sewer layer is the hub, and like you can go look at like, oh, here are collectibles you've gathered, like Shredder's helmet from the Super Shredder helmet, or like I think the first boss I fought was a guy named Han, and I got his like bazooka. And like you're going through, you're doing all the beat 'em up stuff. It's essentially like I think the movie one uses one of the shoulder buttons for the throw. But like art style looks great. It's better than what was going on like the Xbox and the PS2 and whatnot at this time.
Take that back.
Or the Wii. So if you have the ability to, for example, I have, again, using the Mister, I can emulate the GBA. It was relatively easy to play it. So I was very surprised. Both of these games are not very long. And like, hey, if you have the right controller or whatever to play with, like a Super Nintendo controller, like give it a shot. So
I might still have my Game Boy Advance.
I mean, if Game Boy Advance, or I mean, I know you enjoy physical games, but like maybe if you were to find a Game Boy Advance emulator, pretty much your microwave could probably run that at this point.
Let's give it a shot.
Yo, check that out. And they were very good. I enjoyed playing both of them. So, and then the other game, and this is a game I dove for some reason deep into this week. Far Cry 5 I went back to on the Xbox, and I'm playing on the Series X. So like load times are almost instantaneous.
What a future.
It's just a lot of shooting redneck cultists, and I had a lot of fun with that. Like wandering around the country of Montana, or like the countryside of Montana, and just shooting people. Wow. But like also you have to do fishing challenges, and you come across these like not monuments, but like memorial plaques to this stunt guy who lived there in like the 60s and 70s, and you have to replicate his stunts. And at points like you have to hunt random animals, and like it's a Far Cry game, so it's like, hey, you're gonna climb up on top of something and see points of interest, and when you get shot too much, you're gonna like wrap a band-aid around your hand and be like, oh, full health again. And like just the Far Cry like minutia that's there, but it was like a lot of fun. You get to like planes, helicopter, like there are a bunch of different vehicles to use across this open world. I had a lot of fun with it. And since the game's old enough now, if you have like the Game of the Year edition or whatever, there were 3 DLC packs that got released. One is a zombie one is a Vietnam one, and one is like a Mars one. Mm-hmm. And weapons from all 3 of those get imported into the main game. So at one point, I'm just wandering around with like a laser beam,
like you pistol,
do, and just vaporizing these guys. the cult that you're trying to stop. And
that'll stop a
like,
cult if people start being vaporized. That's
like cool guy. I mean,
that'll convert a cult. We
were
were with you, but that guy's got a laser.
Right, a lot of them did get converted to dust.
Listen to what he has to say.
Mean, the thing about Far Cry 5, and I think it's long enough probably, is that it's a game where it does not have it is not a happy ending. It is a like, because if people that were paying attention to games, a year later, Far Cry New Dawn came out, and it's 30 years after the nukes went off is the opening of that game. So you can imagine how its prequel ended. So, but it's like, I really enjoyed it, like playing through and just like doing all the pieces, doing the fishing, and it was a good experience. So for stuff that some of the stuff can't do right now. So, but yeah, I mean, aside from my I don't know, exploration into the TMNT games, the good ones, I also didn't realize this was weird. One of the like ones that came out for GameCube, PS2, and Xbox had a version of the arcade game on it.
It did,
since
yeah.
They did not have the rights to the song or most of the audio. It's apparently silent. So like they can't.
Oh, it sounds awful.
Like yeah, like it's like why? Exactly, like yeah, like what? That's a weird problem to have.
I mean, I guess. I mean, was it like something that they put on the back of the box, like "Hey, included," but it's not really.
I don't know if it was on the box. Or I was listening to the one of the podcasts I was listening to. They were talking about like, oh, this is the way to get it. That at least lets you change like the difficulty of the game, like the dip switches for the arcade. Because the one that came out on XBLA is just stuck on its original settings. There is no way to, like, you have one life and you're just credit feeding through that because you don't have the option to give yourself more lives or any of that kind of stuff.
Played the crap out of that on 360, let me tell you.
Hey, it was great. And I mean, they also talked about the Simpsons game, and I was disappointed they didn't talk about the X-Men game because all three of them are like the Konami trifecta.
Such good games.
So, but yeah.
One of them is in my living room.
You know, Tony, I did forget to mention. I did grab a full set of the Xbox Live Arcade library.
Oh yeah, you
I
texted
forgot about that. Yeah,
I was like, yeah, that's.
There's some delisted stuff there, like Marcus. You played Lost Cities before?
The card game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic card game. I didn't know till well after the fact that there was a version of it for the Xbox 360. It got delisted many years ago. I can play it now.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I don't have a 360 because I'm on the PlayStation side of things.
I don't know if it came out for that.
Aaron's playing this via an Xbox.
Yeah, I'm just playing on an emulator, so yeah.
Okay.
You just drag everything. Like, because remember a couple weeks ago, Aaron was talking about GoldenEye. You know, people found the full GoldenEye. You know, you can play it the same emulator, so just play it all. You know.
Oh God! Somebody made the Cybertruck and put it in a GoldenEye.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
It's good stuff.
But yeah, no. So you were playing around with that, like a 2.5 gig archive of XBLA game, which in our group text message then went down a road of, do you remember that XBLA games used to start at 30 gig or 30 megs, and then like a year or two later they increased it to 50, and then 150, then like
2 gigs or something.
And it was 2 gigs.
Remember that? I heard a game called Robo Blitz or something where the developer was excited because they used this compression technology to compress a gig worth of textures into a 50 meg game. Which is, at the time, I was just like, what?
That's alchemy.
Kind of, sort of. Yeah. So it's just cool to play stuff that's been delisted, like Meteos. I don't know, it's a Meteos game that was on 360.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I never bought it when it was out, so it got delisted. So, a Rock Band Blitz, another good one. So.
Oh.
I like that game.
So much Rock Band.
Yeah.
I still have all my Rock Band stuff, so
same
one of these days. I bought so much Rock Band DLC.
I always felt like I did, and then when I look at it again, I'm like, I didn't buy as much as I thought I did.
Oh no, I got like 300 songs.
Oh, I might have like 60. I don't have 300. No, I'm not nowhere close to that. So,
Oh.
yeah.
There's a number in my head, but it can't possibly be right. So I'm not.
What? Oh, of songs?
Yeah.
It's still fun to break that stuff out every now and then. Like, I was in my garage cleaning up stuff. I didn't realize for that last crappy Guitar Hero game that they came out with that they pretty much
That's
abandoned.
useless. You can't play that game at all.
I have two guitars. I have two guitars. I don't even know why.
I don't know if you ever saw this, Marcus. Guitar Hero Live came out, and it was supposed to be a live service game. And so they didn't put most of the songs on the disc. They streamed to you. And like they streamed the music video, and that's like they were going to rotate and all this stuff. But they abandoned that game. So I think there's like 10 songs on the disc, and
can't even do anything with it.
Nothing like other than that. That's all you like. They offered a refund for people that bought it from launch.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm not going to take that because I'm going to keep these. And that was a dumb idea, and that's why there's stuff in my basement I don't touch.
Wow.
So yeah, like that game. I mean, it's not the train wreck that like Tony Hawk 5 was, or Tony Hawk HD the first time they remade Tony Hawk 1 and 2.
Yeah. It's not that bad. That's true.
So, but man, yeah, that was. Whew.
That was the new one. I haven't had a chance to see that yet.
Oh, the new one's awesome. Like if you got a chance, pick on PlayStation. I played that on my PS4 and I enjoyed the heck out of it.
I was never good at it. Everybody in college was good at it. I'm like,
I wasn't. I'm pretty sure I played wrong, but I loved it, even though I was playing it wrong. I couldn't do all that stuff.
Oh God, yeah.
Aaron was probably playing on an N64, so and I love the N64.
It's funny. I do have all three.
That is not a good platform for that game.
I had the third one for N64. I didn't realize I had that one.
Last game released on that platform.
Was it?
I still don't know what shape your hand should be for an N64 controller.
The nice thing about it is you can change it. Like it's adaptable. But the real problem with like Tony Hawk on those things is, did you want to hear 30 seconds of the song that you would hear on the PlayStation, the whole song, just repeated over and over and over again because we have no space to save audio?
Yeah.
Here you go.
That was certainly a
I'm a superman. I'm a super. Anyway.
No, that sounds terrible.
You gotta wash up.
And again, I love the N64, but like I recognize
some of its limitations.
The limitations.
Some of my favorite consoles, but yeah,
there are some problems with it.
Just a couple.
But
got my Nintendo hooked up to my TV.
Hey, play it.
The nice thing about what we were talking about, the Retron 5 before the show, that will play Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Game Boy Advance,
Game Boy Color, regular Game Boy,
all over the HDMI. So
if you have the adapter, it'll play Game Gear, Sega Master System, even the Sega it'll play My Cards.
I thought there was a card slot.
Yeah, there's a card slot. It'll play the Sega My Cards, all that stuff. Yeah, there's a new version of the Retron 5 out now.
Someone was saying that, yeah.
It's like a new color. The controller is still trash. They have a new controller out for it though.
But it also has controller ports for your original controller. So
good.
Like that thing was in retrospect I miss that I don't have it and I accidentally blew mine up by plugging in the wrong power adapter.
I have two of them, so if you want me to send you one of my other ones, I can do that.
We can talk about that
once I find where it is.
Don't have one, so that's gonna be
okay. Now, see, Programmer Man 1 is saying things that just aren't true. He's saying no one used the D-pad on the N64.
See, he's going to talk about wrestling games.
The Aki wrestling games. Let me tell you, the number of hours.
I'd argue the Killer Instinct, like pretty much any fighting game you happen to play on there, the D-pad was probably the better way to play it. Except for Smash.
I mean, obviously, a lot of
Smash isn't a real fighting
platformers were on N64, Mario, Banjo-Kazooie, and Donkey Kong. I mean, there were a lot of 3D platformers, so yes, the analog stick got a lot of use. But those wrestling games used the D-pad to move the wrestlers around. It was fantastic. So I wouldn't say no one used it. I would just
Anyway, let's talk about news real quick because there's something on here that I'm very shocked by. But Aaron, I saw you mentioned the PlayStation VR too. Like they just stole Oculus's controllers, is what I saw the announcement.
Pretty much, yep.
Which is great. Because that's just gonna replace. Pokemon Stadium. Great.
Not quite like this. This is really something weird.
The new Sony controllers are a lot like the new Oculus grip controllers or whatever. The one, or is that the Vive? I forget which one it is. It's the one that has like the one that goes around your like wrist or whatever, your knuckles.
Somebody said it looks like the Sony Ericsson logo, and I just laughed.
Oh yeah.
It's got some weird swirls to it. And you're just like,
well, I think it's going to be like, will it be doing some kind of finger tracking or something? Maybe.
I would hope so, because like that just means it's so much better than the Move controller is right now for it. So I mean,
I'm looking at it. It's a mess. It almost looks like boxing gloves made of air. I don't know what's happening.
Those are the best kind.
Hey,
feel those punches.
So I mean, hey, again, I know, and we talked about this on previous shows, like some people not being as confident that Sony was going to support the VR, but like this seems like another step in the right direction of, hey,
PSVR has sold the best out of everything.
All three platforms,
right?
yeah, all the major platforms.
Rage cages for your hands.
Hey, as long the next answer is Sony and Valve are going to make up again. And they're going to bring Half-Life Alex to the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, if they want to sell copies of it, they're going to bring it to the PlayStation 5, pretty much.
Let's
be honest.
That would make me happy. It also means I can keep pushing off that the PC upgrade. Until I can get a graphics card, which will be sometime in 2024.
I have not made the leap yet.
Yeah, I'm still rocking the 1080.
I have not been able to make the leap to the PS5 yet. I have tried.
Are you following Wario 64?
I am, but I have that credit at Best Buy, so like.
Yeah.
I'm focused at Best Buy.
No, I understand.
So Mark, just to give you a quick, like how me and Aaron and our other co-hosts met through a website over a decade ago called Cheap Ass Gamer. So like, we kept looking for deals, and like at points we've built up, each of us have built up dumb amounts of credit at like Circuit City or Best Buy or whatnot. Like, oh, you could trade in this Tony Hawk, whatever, Skate Ground or Project 8.
I remember that one.
But anyway, we already mentioned it, but I'll mention it again. Hey, .emu or however you pronounce it is publishing, and Tribute Games is making a new TMNT game that seems like it is reminiscent of the arcade game. The thing that a lot of people will point to is that they gave each of the turtles their own running animation, which is a lot of work for a very small detail. And I'm very excited about it. And I look forward to doing machines. So, because you can all pry Donatello from my cold dead hands. So
that's why. I probably pick Raphael though. But yeah.
So, and then this just happened a couple of hours ago. Apparently, Sony bought Evo. Who knew?
What?
So Sony and a company called RTS have gone into partnership to purchase Evo, the Evolution Fighting Series, which I assume means that they're going to be exclusively PlayStation games now, which will be interesting.
That's that kind of. You can't play Smash on a PlayStation. Like, what are we doing here?
Oh well, I mean, I didn't even think about the Smash stuff. I was more thinking of like how like PC was kind of the lead platform for a lot of that stuff, because like Street Fighter V runs the best on anyway. That kind of so I'm interested to see what that means. They say they have more announcements coming, but like, I mean, Evo is the granddaddy of like fighting game. Of long running large fighting game tournament community stuff. That
it is.
And for it to be exclusive is going to be real interesting for a lot of stuff. So, but yeah, and with that, that's all the news we put down. We were kind of late on it this week.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So,
want to wrap up?
Yeah, we will wrap up. Marcus, any shout outs, plugs, anything that you want to let people know on our way out?
Well, let's see. You can see me on the League of Excellent Extraordinary Negroes on the House of Afros, Capes, and Curls YouTube. And I guess you can follow me on Twitter at Waterbear Games and at Marcus Ross.
Okay. All that stuff will be in the show notes, along with I did find the link at Spielbound for your games.
Stuff.
Yep.
Cool.
So I'll make sure I stop there and visit the website. I don't think I'm going out to Nebraska anytime soon, but
oh yeah, they ship.
Yeah,
they ship games too.
Okay.
Well, if you want me to sign them, just write that in the notes. I'll come down there.
Hey, don't tempt me. You know what I mean?
I'll make the time. I'll put on the space helmet. I'll drive down there.
Can you take a picture of the games in your space helmet, like hold them up like this? All right. If Mike was here, he would say he would encourage people to donate blood. If you have pets, have them spayed or neutered. I didn't say it like he said it, but we
all do our own thing.
Yeah, it still rings true.
Bob Barker.
I need a long, skinny microphone. All right. But Marcus, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Hopefully, if I bug you again on Twitter, you will say yes and join us again. We can hear more
this was fun.
Of what you've been up to. It's been a pleasure. So other people who
gaming in. Jeez.
Gaming. For all the folks who were in the chat, we appreciate your questions and comments and everything else. Programmer Man 1, I want you to play some of those Aki wrestling games. Use that D-pad. Don't sleep on it. Use that D-pad. I don't know. N64 is near and dear to my heart, so I just I played a lot of it in college, so I probably played too much of it. Anyway, thank you, Tiny, for coming back once again for I don't know, our 400th plus something episode. I don't know how many we've actually done more than 432. We just only numbered 432.
Properly numbered. The properly numbered. Well, because some of them were like E3 specials.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, we're at the Music and Games Festival in Washington.
Or the one that my wife did with us, and we did, and Ben, our friend Ben,
we talked about Avengers. We did the Avengers, Endgame podcast where your wife's biggest problem was how did the jewels move from Thanos' hand to Tony Stark's hand?
I kept telling her, I'm like, nano machine, nanotechnology, like he made all of it.
Like, Aaron just kept answering the same answer for everything in Metal Gear Solid. It was the nano machines.
That's what it was. I don't know.
So
I mean,
but yeah,
it was 1 in 14 million tries where that worked. So
yeah. Sleight of hand, encouraged by the Sorcerer Supreme. So anyway, if you want to leave us feedback, you can always do so. You can leave us voicemail at 202-573-7686. Go to GameEnthus.com. All of our Twitter information is up there. You can see our stuff up on YouTube. You can always email us at podcast@GameEnthus.com. And I'll stop talking. Tiny, how about you?
Hey, I mean, we mentioned it earlier, but you should go to extra-life.org and sign up to raise money for your local Children's Miracle Network hospital by playing video games, board games, card games. I don't know. You can even play some sports. I had a guy fish for 24 hours. I guess mind games still counts. I feel bad for the people you're doing it to, but
just I don't know. Walking on the street giving people riddles. It's for the kids.
See, you went so much more positive. I thought he was doing some kind of soft setup, like. I figured he had kidnapped these people and like put them through some terrible thing. But as long as the money goes to the kids,
donate the money. Sign up.
Risk is at your problem. So yeah, again, extra-life.org. You can sign up there, set up your own team, have your friends and family play with you. 100% of what you raise goes directly to the children's hospital you choose. There's 170 to choose from across Canada and the U.S. And aside from that, if you can't take part, you can go to GameEnthus.com/extra-life. You can see it scrolling above. And donate to your favorite Game Enthus personality. Go 100% to their children's hospital. I raised for the Children's Hospital. I'm raised for the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and oldest children's hospital in the nation. So the first children's hospital, another way to say that. So yeah, check that out. GameEnthus.com/extra-life. And with that, I think we're out of here.
Yeah. So Lord willing, we'll be back next week talking about something. But Marcus, any final words?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. All right, have a good night, everybody.
Night all.
And the stream. I'm sorry to put you on the spot. I'm not doing it on purpose or anything. I'm apologize.
Thinking, like, what do I got? I got live long and prosper. That's about it.
I didn't even know that Evo was bought by Sony until I looked at the outline